7 historical items, 7 real-life body counts. What you're looking at right now aren't Hollywood movie props. These are real, documented artifacts that left a trail of unexplained deaths, sudden illnesses, and total financial ruin. We are skipping the fake internet lore and looking straight at the verified forensic evidence, starting with case number 1, the ice mummy. When the 5,300-year-old mummified body of Ötzi, the Iceman was pulled from the Ötztal Alps in September 1991, it triggered a bizarre chain of sudden deaths among the excavation team. Within a few years, 7 people who directly handled or discovered the mummy passed away. The forensic pathologist who examined the body, Dr. Henn, was killed in a head-on car crash on his way to present his findings at a scientific conference. The mountain guide who originally spotted the mummy, Helmut Simon, fell over 300 feet to his death during a sudden blizzard. The head of the mountain rescue team, Fritz, was killed shortly after by an avalanche in an area he knew perfectly. Finally, the leader of the scientific research team, Dr. Konrad Spindler, died at just 62 from an aggressive, sudden case of multiple sclerosis. Skeptics call it a numbers game, stating that out of hundreds of scientists involved, some were bound to pass away. But the timeline tells a different story. The deaths explicitly targeted the very first individuals who violated the grave and disturbed the remains. Coincidence? Or a warning from the Stone Age? Case number 2, the fireproof child. In the 1980s, a massive, terrifying wave of house fires swept across England. When fire crews from Yorkshire to London dug through the charred ruins of these homes, they kept finding something physically impossible: a mass-produced print of a painting called The Crying Boy, created by Italian artist Bruno Amadio. Everything else in the houses was completely reduced to ash, but the portrait of the weeping child would lie on the floor without a single burn mark. To stop an actual public panic and conspiracy theories from flooding the media, the British Fire Research Station ran laboratory tests on the pictures. The forensic reality? The prints were manufactured on ultra-thick, compressed hardboard and coated in a rare, heavy-duty fire-retardant varnish. The mystery was solved by physics, but it leaves a chilling psychological question. Who actually wants a painting in their living room that is structurally designed to survive an absolute inferno? Case number 3, the Royal Curse. This is a flawless, 45-carat deep blue diamond worth over $250 million. The Hope Diamond, discovered in the Kolar mine in India, the gem's modern historical body count is undeniable. King Louis XIV bought the stone in 1668 and later died a slow, agonizing death from gangrene. His descendant, Marie Antoinette, inherited the diamond and was publicly guillotined during the French Revolution. In the 20th century, the stone was bought by American heiress Evelyn Walsh McLean. Shortly after her purchase, her 9-year-old son was crushed to death by a car, her daughter died of a sudden drug overdose, and her husband lost his sanity, dying in a mental institution while the family fortune completely vanished. Historians prove that early jewelers, like Pierre Cartier, historically exaggerated the ancient Indian lore to drive up the gem's marketing mystique and selling price. But the modern financial ruin and physical tragedy of its recorded owners is hard, documented history. Case number 4, the lethal seat. This looks like an ordinary wooden chair from an old English pub in North Yorkshire, but the local historical records are terrifying. A convicted murderer named Thomas Busby was executed in 1702 for strangling his father-in-law. Right before he was hanged, he cursed his favorite seat, declaring that anyone who sat in it would meet a sudden death. During World War II, Royal Air Force pilots from a nearby base who sat in the chair out of bravado never returned from their bombing missions over Europe. In 1973, a young builder sat on it during his lunch break. Just 3 hours later, the roof he was working on collapsed, killing him instantly. Later that same year, a delivery man sat in it and died in a horrific truck crash the exact same evening. The curse became such a massive legal liability for the pub that the Thirsk Museum acquired it in 1978. They literally hung it 15 feet up on a concrete wall, so no human being could ever sit in it again. Case number 5, the Forgotten Letters. Before Annabelle, there was Robert. This turn-of-the-century, 3-foot-tall sailor doll was manufactured by the Steiff Company in Germany and gifted to a young artist named Robert Eugene Otto in Key West, Florida, in 1904. For over 100 years, Family members and servants claimed the doll shifted its weight, changed facial expressions, and was heard walking through the upstairs rooms. Today, he sits inside a glass cage at the Fort East Martello Museum. The real mystery here isn't the ghost story, it's the museum walls. They are physically covered in thousands of real letters sent from all over the world. Museum rules state you must politely ask Robert for permission before taking his photo. The letters on the wall are desperate apology notes from tourists who ignored the rule and were immediately hit by sudden car crashes, broken bones, and financial ruin. They are literally begging a century-old doll for forgiveness to lift their bad luck. Case number 6, the band vase. Back in the 15th century, an Italian bride in Napoli was murdered on the eve of her wedding, clutching a silver vase. After her death, the object was passed down through her family, and every single person who accepted it died within months from sudden, unexplainable illnesses. By 1988, the pattern of sudden heart failures among its owners became so statistically abnormal that the family buried the vase to stop the chain. Someone dug it back up and sold it to a local pharmacist. He died 90 days later, at the age of 37. A doctor bought it next and died within months. Eventually, the Italian police had to intervene. They confiscated the artifact, and today, authorities have buried the vase in an undisclosed location, officially banning it from the public eye for public safety. Case number 7, the Raggedy Ann reality. Forget the Hollywood porcelain doll from the movies. The real Annabelle is a common fabric doll bought at a hobby store in 1970. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren locked her in a special wooden case after a young nurse claimed the doll moved independently across her apartment and left cryptic notes written on parchment paper. While modern critics call the entire thing a massive publicity stunt designed to sell books, one specific event remains completely unexplained by local authorities. A young skeptic visited the Warrens' museum, mocked the doll, and slammed his hand against her glass. Just 3 hours after leaving the property, his motorcycle veered off a completely straight, clear highway in Connecticut and slammed directly into a tree, killing him instantly. The warning sign on her case remains active to this day: do not open. So, are these genuine historical anomalies, or just dark coincidences amplified by internet panic? Science can easily explain the varnish on the artwork and the math behind statistical probability. But it's hard to shake the physical patterns left behind. Which of these 7 items would you absolutely refuse to have near your bedroom?